Welcome back to Nano Education. In this video of the Python course for beginners, I want to talk about variables and data types. So let's get started. Alright, so before we begin, I want you to go ahead and access this website, scratch.mit.edu. Okay? There you're going to find, so basically this is a Scratch coding website, right? You can install the offline editor like I have done so for this tutorial. So basically, this site allows us to do block programming. So basically, I'm going to teach you guys using block programming versus Python code, right? Because I think that being able to see the code visually is very efficient, right? It's like very good for your mind. Like you want to have something to imagine because an image is something good. Visual learning is something that's extremely well. So we're going to head over to scratch.mit.edu. You can click on create a new project, and you can do that, or you can just download the offline editor. All right. So when you launch Scratch, it's going to look like this. Now, the interface may look a little overwhelming, but trust me, it's not a lot. It's actually not that difficult. So let me just quickly give you a quick tutorial round of it. So basically, you have a character. Basically, this is your console, like the output area, all right? This character, his name is Sprite, all right? So this whole project is called Sprite, all right? A Sprite, all right? This is our character, Sprite. Now, so basically we named them Sprite 1, alright? A Sprite is basically like a project name. So now, we can choose to display him or not display him. Here is where our main code goes. So basically, let's go start with doing some concepts. So let's just say I want to run a code. Does green flag and red flag do something? No idea. So if we look under events and look at this one clicked one, well, this shows the exact same check mark. So if I click it, technically it's supposed to run some code, and this is technically going to stop. Who knows? Now, if we go ahead, and you go ahead and go under looks, and we click on this say hello, and I just type in hello. That's great. Now, when I click this, hello. So our character is telling us, hey, hello. Now, you can customize your character here. Alright, you have two versions of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new version. I'm just going to choose anything, doesn't matter. And you can get rid of it. So now, basically now you have the full opportunity of designing anything. So you could actually design a lot of stuff actually. So we can start like a circle. We can definitely give it like a... Let's take a look. I want to give like a bluish, we can go like a bluish outline. It's a lot of fun, trust me. Like when you start playing with it, you're gonna end up having a lot of fun. A fill, we can give it almost any fill out there actually. So let's give it that type of fill. So it doesn't, oh, okay. So I actually created a new one with the type of fill we wanted. Alright, so here is our new one. Alright, so this is our character. And let's position it so it says hello correctly. So we can actually give it some eyes, ears, and mouth. So let's just give it an eye. We're going to make it have a fill of white outline. Complete black. Alright? So you can have a lot of fun, trust me. When I mean fun, I mean fun, alright? So we can like copy and paste this to give it two eyes. Alright, you get what I mean. Very simple. I mean, not as straight as eyes in the world, still. Alright? So basically you can create your own character. You can create your own sounds. And this is the main part we'll be focused on, which is the coding part, alright? So throughout this whole entire Python course, I mean not whole entire, okay. So until you don't get the programming basics, we're going to be playing with it a lot, alright? We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to build cool projects out of it. And at the same time, we're going to build cool projects using plain Python code. So you'll be able to double dip. You'll learn two languages at once. This is a Scratch language. Don't worry, it's not a pro language. But still, it's pretty good. So now I'm going to switch over to presentation. Let's get started. So the first concept I want you to learn today is basically what is a variable? So a variable is basically a container that stores any information that you give it. So in a variable, you can save a user's name and their email address. So if we head over back to Scratch, and I'm gonna get rid of this, and then I say, well, let's do an event when it starts. Inside of variables, we can create a new variable, all right? So when I do create it, we can say, it'll ask us, you want to create it for all sprites or just this sprite? I'll say this sprite, doesn't matter what you say. And let's just assign this the variable of name, all right? Now we have this name variable, but what do we do with it? So for that very reason, we can say, well, let's use this set and set name to Nano. Now when I click on this, we're basically doing nothing except for the fact we just assigned it something. Alright? So basically now what we want to do is literally, so basically how is this going to work? How we're going to print it, let's say. So if you remember that say function, so if I go to looks, say, now I don't want to spoil it for you, so now we're going to try to figure it out. So, as shown in the example, we set it username, so I use username in my presentation to print out Nano. How could we print this out? That's our question here. How can we print this out? So, there's some ways we can. So you can print a variable out with the say command, so that's the one I almost brought in, but it prints out hello, but not Nano. So, one thing we could do is say Nano. It'll say Nano then, alright? But that is cheating, because we're telling it a value. We don't want to tell it a value. Instead, we wanted to grab it from username. So you can pass in the variable username into say. So now it will print say, so our variable known as username. So we can literally go down to variables, grab name, pass it in, print, says Nano. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So you want to set it to Nano. So set name to Nano, say Nano. Same name, which is Nano. Alright? So I hope you're getting this. This is pretty simple block code. Alright? So now now the code prints what we want it to. Alright? Conditions met. So now in Python we can assign variables just like we did in our block code. Alright, so in Python, it was a lot easier, a little bit easier. So instead of using the keyword set, we just assign a name and then we put it. So now, I want you to notice one thing. We have quotes around it. Alright? So as you may notice that the Nano has quotes around it. So this is because the word Nano is a special data type called a string. So any characters, words, sentences, paragraphs, whatever, anything that has to do with the letters, numbers, mixed, whatever, all strings must have quotes around it. So they are considered strings and they must have quotes around it. So they can be single or double quotes. Alright? I prefer single quotes, but sometimes you may prefer double quotes as we get further and you learn higher order concept which require a double quote for this function itself, but then you use your strings to have single quotes. You'll learn that all. Do not worry about it right now. So we're gonna apply this to Python. Alright, so our printing of hello world, let's gonna print that in Python. So in my code editor, I'm gonna do print quotes. So basically, we just name our file app.py, right? And then inside our quotes, which remember was the string, we can pass in hello world. Alright? Now how do we run this? So if you're on a Mac, you will run python 3 not the python 3, and then the name of the file, app.py. Make sure you're in the same directory. I'm in the lesson 1 directory, and I'm printing, alright? So when I press enter, hello world, alright? Now, if you're on Windows, you want to do python app.py. Alright? So it will run for Mac, but because the reason we put a 3 in front of the a 3 after Python is because on Macs, Apple gives us Python. So if you run python version Python 2, so we have Python 2 pre-installed. But in the previous video when we did installation, we installed Python 3. So now when we do run Python 3, our version is 3.7.4. Right? But on Windows, we're never given Python. So our default Python is Python 3. On Windows, alright? Mine shows 2. It should be 3 for you, alright? So whatever version. So basically, that's what it is. So we do get Python. It's just not up to date. So we'll clear it. Now we're gonna just do Python 3 app.py. Get used to these commands, alright? Now, if we look in our directory, we have an app.py. That's it. It created no additional files, nothing. When we run Python 3 app.py, that's all it ran. It just ran the file and gave us a result. Alright? So this is how we can print to the console. So now to define a variable Python, we will create the variable, and then we'll do that the same thing in Scratch, right? So we can do the same exact thing in Python. So all we need to do is let's just set a variable. Let's call it username, like my example, and I'm gonna set it to nano. Now to print this, I can print nano, which will be cheating, obviously, but who cares? So nano, right? But we won't want to do that. That's not efficient. So instead, we just pass in our variable. That's why we put quotes around strings, because if we don't, it just reads nano as a variable. Instead, we don't have that. So username. When I run it, we get nano. Let's just change this to John Doe. So when I change it to John Doe, when I run it, John Doe. Alright, so that's the username. This is dynamic. So we're basically passing in username, which is a dynamic value, into print statement, which will change, which will like basically, so when our project is run, it gets username, and then uses the print function, and it passes it in. Alright, simple. So we can print variables. So now, instead of saying our save statement, we pass in our variable to our print statement. Easy. So there are rules for variables Python. So variables in Python must begin with a letter or underscore. The rest of the variable may consist of anything else. Literally, I have an underscore type 333T. Alright? Whatever. Alright, there's some letters you can't put, obviously. We'll talk about those, but basically that's it. And then variables are case sensitive. Alright, sorry. So variables are case sensitive. This name variable is caps lock. So basically, it's read differently. This lowercase name is also read differently. So they're case sensitive. So let's look at other data types. We talk about strings. Now let's talk about booleans, integers, and floats. So for example, here I put age to 20, GPA to 3.9, and it is cool to false. All right, for John Doe. Apparently, this is John Doe's profile. All right. So what are our variables? So we can connect a string to John Doe, boolean to our is cool, integers to 20. So our integer will be our age, and our float will be our GPA. So if now you look at it, it makes more sense. Username is our string, age is our integer, GPA is our float, and then is cool is our boolean. So how do you know the difference between an integer and a boolean, you may ask? So it's actually very simple to actually tell the difference between those. So not integer and float. So float is a decimal point number, integer is a number. Alright? Simple. So what is a comment? I want to talk about this quickly. So comments are basically pieces of code that are never read by the computer. Like, they're never read. They're only for us. They're only for the developer. And do not show up on the compiled code. Alright? So when the code is ran, comments are ignored. Alright? So basically here, in our Scratch programming, we can put a variable. A variable's comment or any comment you like. In Python, we use the hashtag and then the name of the variable. Of the comments. Sorry. I have no idea why I named the variables. It's so difficult. Let's do our review questions to end this video off. Question number 1. Which of the following choices assigns a variable correctly? A. Var user equals nano in the string. B. Let user equals nano. C. User equals nano. D. Underscore user underscore equals nano. So we're looking at a variable correctly. So I'll say C is the right answer because we were never assigned. We were not told. So D will be correct if it gave us that nano is equal to something. Otherwise, it's not going to be a correct variable. We're going to get an error because we don't know if anyone's pre-assigned. We weren't not told that. And then number 2, which of the following choices shows the Python comment correctly? So A is the correct answer because of the hashtag. So simple. Python comments are the simplest just because of the hashtag. Alright? So this is lesson 1 of our tutorial. I hope you learned a lot. And if you have any question, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next lecture.